sorry, we're going to have to resume where we left off on that last video. Sorry about that. So what we want to do is when we're presented with these, this would basically be the denominator of one rational function. This would be the denominator of a second rational function. And we're going to have to get these to be the same to where I'll be able to add them. So this is kind of an intermediate step to prepare us for tomorrow's lesson. So what we would want to do, we'd have to factor him down. You'd have to recognize that we have a GCF of 4 that I can pull out. And then you have to recognize that I have a difference of squares. So think about taking the square root. Remember, a difference of squares has to have different signs. So one will be a positive 2, one will be a negative 2, and we have to bring that 4 down. So he's factored down as far down as I can factor him. This guy over here, we have a greatest common factor of 6. If I pull a 6 out of everybody, I'd be left with that. And this trinomial that's left over, we have to say what multiplies to make positive 4, but adds to a negative 2. And we understand that would be negative 2 and negative 2. So this guy would factor down like so. Alright, our goal is to get these to be the same. Right now I see that they both have an x minus 2 in common. So that's one thing that they already have in common that I don't have to change anything, okay? But everything else is slightly different, okay? So this guy over here has an x plus 2. This guy has an x minus 2. Those are not the same thing. I'm going to have to actually give this guy an x plus 2 so that he then matches this guy over here that has an x plus 2. This guy has an x minus 2. This guy doesn't have a second x minus 2. So I'm going to have to give him an x minus 2 factor, okay? So now those are taken care of. Now 4 and 6, if we come over here for just a second, what is the least common multiple between 4 and 6? And that would be 12. So we think to ourselves, what do I need to multiply 4 by to turn him into 12? Hopefully everybody said 3. What do I need to multiply 6 by to turn him into 12? And hopefully everybody understands 2. So this 6, ultimately to get him to be a 12, because that's the least common multiple, I would have to multiply him by 2, because 6 times 2 would make him be 12. Over here, I had a 4. I know that the least common multiple is 12, so to get that 4 to be a 12, I would have to multiply by a 3. And so if we multiply all this out, okay, 6 and 2 makes 12. We have 2x minus 2 factors, so I'm going to write it like that to represent that I have 2 of them, and I have 1 x plus 2 factor. And over here, if we do the same thing here, 3 times 4 makes 12. I had 2 x minus 2 factors, and I have an x plus 2 factor. So now both of these have the same factors. This would be my common denominator that I'd have to get both of these to have this denominator before I could add